Hello, it's Tim with TAH-DAH Farm. We're going to have a repair video today. It's going to be on the 6620 Turbo. It's a 1986 year model, and we're going to get into the Chaffers and Sieves. Show you what's involved there. All right, to give you some reference where we are, there's the air intake that takes the air into the radiator. We're on that side of the combine. Last video you heard we were taking corn off. This is not a planned maintenance. This is a breakdown, but it's going to require some major repair here. What it was is the bolt that goes right there broke. I couldn't see it, so I got this big pulley out of the way. To get that out of the way, we had to loosen this up here, which loosens this idler pulley up, that this belt will come off. Then I took this belt off. It goes here behind that big pulley. I took that off just to get it out of my way, because what we got to work on is that one right there. However, what I'm finding is some of these have never been replaced, some of them have been replaced. I have them all, so we're going to go ahead while we got this apart and go ahead and change them all. It's not going to be that much harder to do since we got it apart. But and the other reason we decided to do that now is, yep, there's the sieves. They're out just to be out of my way. This is the box that the bolt went right down here, but these were all bent, and to fix those I was going to have to crawl across those, and I didn't want to crawl on those and mess them up. That is in good shape. So I wanted to straighten these back up because they were, a bunch of them were pointing down from this little mishap. The other thing I found when I got to the back of the combine looking around is this. Let me get the light up here where you can see. These are the Chaffers out. This is that bar I was talking about that came loose. And as it started coming up, these started laying down flat. And as they started flattening out, it was about this far disconnected. This bar here had come up and has actually turned out going this way. So I got it out here where we could get it lined back up and fixed. So it's fixed. The other thing we're going to fix on it while we got it out is we need to tack weld. There's three little bars that go to this bracket right here. Well, this one and this one are loose. This one's still attached. If that comes loose, these will all flatten down because nothing's holding it in place. So we're going to tack these up in place while we got it out. And these will be in great shape. Nothing else wrong with them other than that stupid thing come apart. These are the little rocker arms. This is 6600. See where that's right here? Well, that's the one that goes on the 6620, and you can see where that's way off to the side. Well, with that being off like that, it was actually pushed into the side of this, and you can see where that's pretty worn through almost. So since that's worn like that, we're going to go ahead and see if we can't weld that up. I've not called John Deere to see if they have it, but I bet that's pricey if they do. So we're just going to try to weld that up. The other thing that caused this whole big delay is the one that broke has a little, it's not called a bushing, spacer, and we lost that. So we had to order a new spacer, and they're not going to be until Thursday or Friday. So figured I might as well go ahead and fix this up right while we got everything out where we can get to it. All right, you can see we got everything out here. The sieve's actually set in this little groove right here. The Chaffer's set on the box that sets up here out of the way. You can't see my hand up here. So everything that lands on this pan goes down into the clean grain, and everything that misses that and comes back on the back part falls down in the return, and this returns back up. And you don't want corn and stuff down in there. You want to keep that stuff out of there. So with half of that being closed, we overloaded the back half and a bunch of grain was falling down in there, so we're re-threshing it. You don't want to do that. So here's what this looks like in here. We're gonna see if we can't get the rest of this stuff, bearings pushed out, or they call them isolators. All right, this one is on the driver's side. The bolt that broke was on the passenger side, but it was this spot right here that broke. Usually there's a reason something breaks. Very possible that could be it. That was the bushing that was in there, so this thing was just being able to move all over. I'm surprised it didn't break this bolt, but the one on the other side. But anyway, that's why we're looking in to see what's going on here. The other thing, I don't know if you can see it, but see how this is sticking out over here? This side here is recessed in. So they need to be the same on both sides. That one's a little too far one way too, so we're getting them lined up and putting them in. This right here is what I'm using, just a little hand press, and it's working pretty good. We're on this side of the combine here. All the isolators are put in. This side's got a lot more room to see stuff, but the key is that pitman arm up there, that spins and it's off-centered. You want that either at the bottom of its stroke or the top of its stroke, which puts all this at the neutral position. That's the key point. We got this all back together, but everything is loose for where we were putting it together. That's kind of tight, but anyway, you want all those isolators to be in a neutral position, because when you clamp them down and this goes back and forth, this is going to be the middle of its stroke where we are right now, and we clamp them down so they move just a little bit. They turn just a little bit, but they won't slide in here, if that makes sense. But anyway, we're going to tighten up underneath there, get those done. This side, other side. Sieves are in. Grab the light here. Sieves are in. My son will come over here a little bit, help me get the chaffers in and the chopper on, and we'll have it all back together. All back together a week later, waiting on a couple parts, and then time. I worked a couple days in there too. So anyway, got all this back on. I don't know if you can see in there or not, but everything's lined up. I got it set for corn. I got the belt back on. Chopper is back on. Everything up here is lined up. So we're going to start up and just see how it runs. Hear the knock I used to hear, so hopefully that's a good thing. So there you go, changing the chaffers out, the isolations and bushings on the chaffer and the sieve.